Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me make sure we're on the air today for another episode of Reel's Tennis Fan Podcast number 8. I cannot believe we're at number 8, people, and you know what number 8 means that we still don't have a sponsor, so people. So my fans out there, please get your life together. Talk to someone, talk to a grandmother. If someone of your family member died, you get a trust in the will. Please hook us up here. Today, as always, we have Janina, our lovely, she's our featured and permanent co-host. So let's give her on the
Hello, hello.
And today we have a special guest, none other than Karen Prix the Spin. So Karen, why don't you tell our Real Tennis fans of 10 people who listen to us, just in case they don't know you, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Karen, as you know, Reels just gave me that really nice introduction. Of editor of the Spin, of the Overhead Spin. We focus mostly on women's tennis. I'm a lover of all things women's tennis. I'm a pleb in a law firm in real life. In my virtual life, I'm a fountain of tennis knowledge. Or
Yes, yes.
I keep telling myself.
Yes,
You are. You absolutely
myself.
are.
I mean,
Um,
people, this is, if you haven't followed her on Twitter, it's Bridge P, the Spin. She is always, I don't know how she does it, but she's always watching a tennis match. And she gets in on it, no matter the time of day, especially if it's a women event. So you should definitely follow her, and definitely, she's fun to interact with. So, and she also has a real type of sensibility. So she would read, she would read a bitch in no minute in 2 seconds flat. So that's wonderful. We definitely love to have those people who are feisty and who buck against the bullshit trend that comes in tennis journalism. We so come to love from ESPN, Tennis Channel, BT Sports, Euro Sports. I'm coming for you, British European bitches, because y'all are full of shit too. Uh, For me, the
Oh
only
boy.
safe haven is to watch a French, which I can understand somewhat, Italian or Spanish feed. Because that way, a lot is going on that I miss, and I get to focus only on the tennis. I mean, because I'm over these English broadcasters. I'm over them. I'm done. So let's start with, I don't even, there's so much, there is just absolutely so much on our plate to talk about today. And there is a special feature this week, which I hope to be a brand new permanent feature, but we're going to test it out this week. I haven't told my guests exactly what it is, so they don't know what to expect. I just give them a little hint.
oh Lord, I'm quaking in my boots.
Okay, so let's start with the men's event, because let's get the men out of it, because Karen is a huge expert on the women, so we're going to talk about the ladies. And she's going to give us all the lowdown as to what's going on with Aga, what's going on with Bouchard, but let's get with the men. So we get to say Barcelona came around, and Vidal, who, according to all of his fans, I mean, he's struggling. They have prepped and put out the word out there. They have sent it by fax, email, snail mail. They have nailed it. I'm sure someone somewhere has pulled out a billboard somewhere, Vidal fans, that Vidal isn't going to win the French Open. Meanwhile, I, on the other hand, I'm not going to believe that until an umpire says to me, and Philippe Chatrier called game, set, match, not Vidal. But shit didn't go right for him this week as he yet again lost to Fabio Fognini in straight sets, no less. I believe this is about the first time Vidal has lost to the same man on clay other than Djokovic in the same year. So that, I guess for some fans that might be, problematic, but you know what, Reals don't really care. But we gotta say
You know, I don't usually comment on men's matches because I don't watch enough of it.
it.
But all I have to say is this. When someone else, when we go back to circa 2009,
Hmm.
thank you, Robin Soderling, as a
I'm
Fed
telling
fan.
you.
Thank you very much every single time. for 2009, because that's the only way Federer was ever going to win that French Open.
You said it.
Someone else does a Robin Soderling, I pencil in Nadal every single year
Thank you
for
very
that
much.
title.
I'm telling you,
He's won Barcelona how many times? 11, 15, 15 times?
8
He's
times.
won Monte Carlo
8 times.
17 times. He's won Rome 14 times. I mean, he has no more space for these trophies.
Thank you very much.
A lot of space for that Coupe de Mousquetaire.
Exactly, because they're going to go home with a very miniature version of it. They don't go home with that big cup. So he has lots of space for French Open titles. But those massive Monte Carlo cups and all this, he doesn't have any space for that. And nobody remembers who gives a shit how many times Nadal won Barcelona. At this point, Nadal is experiencing what maybe Bouchard. And all he's concerned about, it's the only slam that he can really know he can make an impact.
Mm-hmm.
It's the French Open, and as I've been saying, the problem isn't winning a set against Vidal on clay in France. It isn't winning 2 sets. The problem is winning 3. And only one man has done that in the last 9 years, okay? One man has won 3 sets. No one has even come close to even say serve for the match. They haven't even been up against Vidal. Only one man has served for the match against Vidal. Has been in a winning position. So, look, people, Vidal fans, I'm so sorry.
But one of the things that I've noticed in the few matches that I've watched on the men's tour this year, one of the things that I've noticed is there seems to be a dearth of fans in the stands. It used to be the case that Monte Carlo, and one of the reasons why I used to love watching Monte Carlo was because of the setting. It's a beautiful tournament site,
Yeah, it is.
And it's always great to see it. But I noticed last year and this year that there seems to be a downturn in the number of fans in the stands. When the French, and usually the French guys get a huge turnout. And I think a lot of it might have to do with the plummet in the stock market. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, nobody has any money, but I think that might be. Well, I think people have money. Just less people. There's always a lot of money, but just less people have more of it. Trust me, there are still some freaking crazy rich people out there in the world. But I just think people may get bored showing up at a tournament and Vidal keep winning all the time.
Yeah, I think they're bored.
They're kind of bored with that. So I guess the excitement of, talking it up, being there. And, I mean, people are excited that Roger Federer seems to be back as quote-unquote major contending for majors, I would say. Not that he's going to win one, but I think he's a very solid number 2. So people are excited about that. And what I've noticed
until he wins a major, I have a question sign against.
Of course, I have a question sign against it too. Trust me, I am a Mr. Federer fan for a long time. But also, what is happening on the tour this time around, which may hopefully generate more buzz for the men, is that a lot of the scrubs, the Fogninis, are definitely picking up and doing something. Usually
until they beat the man who has won the first Grand Slam of the year and the first 3 Masters tournaments. The number 1 is dominant.
Well, at this point, that is true. He's like 8,000 points clear.
The number 1 is dominant, and I take issue with people saying that the men's field is competitive. It's not. It really isn't.
Trust me.
It really,
you have a better chance of a nobody winning a women's tournament than a nobody winning. I'm telling you, because it's been shared amongst the same 4 men, and we're not gonna count the anomaly.
When 4 men can share 23 or 20 or 40 something, I don't know what the stats are. I can't remember them off the top of my head.
It's infinity.
But when 4 men are winning 80% or 90%,
90%.
I'm sorry, are
Billy.
winning 80 to 90% of the Master Series, which the ATP World Tour really puts a lot of emphasis on this on their Master Series tournaments. They really do. But when that tournament level is being dominated by four guys, what else are the other guys going to eat?
Telling you, scrubs are struggling.
And then you look at the 500s. The 500s are not much better.
I keep saying that.
The first two 500s this year, if my memory, were won by Federer.
No, Federer won one. Oh, I think he won Dubai. Well,
yeah, he won Dubai. He won Brisbane.
Well, David Ferrer won two of them actually. He won Brazil, and he won Acapulco.
And then you have the 250s, and the top guys are also playing the 250s. I mean, that's Ferrer's stomping ground. And he's having
it's the only place he can win.
Yeah, he's having a hard time keeping himself relevant because the top guys are now going to play the 250s and winning them. So what is left for poor Ferrer to do? And that fella has gotten old. Oh my God.
Well, Ferrer has definitely. Have you not seen Ferrer this year? He's bulked up. He's changed his training pattern. But Ferrer has kept himself, I mean, relevant in the certain extent that he was
being out hit.
He's being out hit.
If Elias Ymer had a head on his shoulders and could have kept his focus, he could have won that match. But he started playing stupid tennis. But he was making Ferrer look slow, and that's really hard to do.
Telling me.
He's a beast.
But hopefully, Elias Ymer is a Swedish player, for those who don't know, young. I think he's like 19 or 17, 18, 19. And he definitely made a big splash at Barcelona this year. So hopefully he can get his life together and produce him, because there really needs to be a lot more buzz around excitement. But what I do get upset with the ATP for, it's not the fact that they're just pushing Federer and Nadal and Djokovic and Murray into these 250 territories. But the other problem is that they don't try to market the other men. I mean, a lot of these players we don't even know shit about.
Well, why would they?
I mean, but I think it's rather important because these people, because to me that might just generate, more confidence in a lot of these players. Hopefully this year might be different, but the problem is that none of this means shit unless any of these men can step up and win a major.
Which is exactly why they don't get marketed.
How can they when the game has become such a physical effort? And you look at the guys who are supposed to be coming over, the young guys who are supposed to be coming up, and they have spindly legs, they have spindly arms, they have no mental fortitude. I don't know what the fitness regimen is, but they're constantly injured. Nick Kyrgios can't stay out of rehab to save his life. Look at Boris. I look at Boris Kornik, and the poor guy looks like. I mean, I can't. I'm sure he's fit on some level. I'm sure he's very fit.
At some level,
he doesn't look fit. He doesn't look. Thomas Kankanakis is another one.
Yeah, they can't. I don't.
He doesn't look fit. He doesn't look as if he could, serve over 100 miles an hour.
Well, I would say that for the men,
are going to be run to exhaustion by people like Federer and Murray and Djokovic and Nadal.
Well, I think the problem is that I think we can definitely, because of the way in which the court is definitely played out now, we can put a bosh and forever say no. There will be no more teenage phenom on either the women tour and the men tour ever again. It's done. It's over with. The last teenage phenom probably was Maria Sharapova on the women's side, and the last teenage phenom on the men's side will be Nadal. And Nadal has always been a beast. Look like a beast. Nadal always looked like a big, strong, muscular guy. So that is out. And I think it has to do with the courts as part of it. And for the men, they don't hit their since it's all about physical, as you pointed out, Karen, muscles and physical and strength, they don't hit their peak until they're in their 20s, mid-20s.
Late 20s.
late 20s depend on it. So I am not looking to any of these guys to win a major. They might squeak in and get to a quarters in the semifinal. But
But in the meantime, what happens to the men's tour, though? How can you continue to build around four guys who are basically transitioning out of the sport?
well, they're not looking to the what I've noticed about the ATP, WTA and all, they're very short-sighted. It's all about making the money right now because they had a huge problem like the US Open. It was such a disappointment when neither Federer nor Djokovic got into the final. They didn't even know what to do.
I mean, Kei Nishikori, if Kei Nishikori had won the US Open last year, it would have been a seminal moment for the men's tour, especially having regard to the fact that the women are pushing so much Asia, to get into the Asian market and make Asia the next big thing. I don't know what market research either tour has done on this, but from a fan standpoint, I don't really see why they're pushing Asia that much. Maybe
There's money over there. There's money.
Money.
I don't know, but that's what they're doing. So if Kei Nishikori had won, I'm sure that would have sent a bolt of lightning, through the ATP tour. It would have generated lots of interest. I mean, from what I can see on my timeline a lot of the times, it seems as if Kei has become the Federer of the East. He gets multiple endorsements. He's getting really good coverage.
He's selling soup.
But it's for a totally different reason. It's because he's the only one, not because he's going around collecting titles like he's picking up pennies off the road. I mean, it's not because he's as good as Federer was at that age. Not at all. It's just because there's no one else.
But
he's like,
exactly.
He's like the Asian hero.
Mm-hmm.
It's money, and I also think legitimately, barring his physicality, and that's going to be an issue. The problem with majors these days is that since we keep they've made these courts so slow. It's all about power hitting and blasting through the court.
It's for me, what is killing men's tennis? It's really the people, the racket manufacturers, it's the equipment manufacturers that are ruining the sport. That's really where it is.
Well,
I mean, I don't follow baseball or
football,
basketball or football, or whatever it is. But I'm sure, I know for cricket, that there were limitations placed on the type of balls that were used, the type of bowling that was being done.
Well,
because
right,
one of the things that happened in the 80s, and you're from the Caribbean, so you would know this, but in the Caribbean, the West Indies were dominant at cricket for years. I mean, we were at the top of the ICC board in bowling and in runs, etc. And we were winning test matches lickety split. All of a sudden, the ICC changes the rules, and what we West Indians used to do that made us so dominant was no longer permitted. We couldn't bowl Yorkers, we couldn't do a lot of fast-paced bowling, that kind of thing. Now, putting that into the tennis context, you have somebody like a Federer or a Serena and Venus who grew up playing with natural gut strings. And then and these guys, they were all about hitting with control, not a lot of spin, making sure that you keep, controlling the ball to keep the ball in play, which is how they learn to play tennis. These new era of players, they play with spin. Years ago, when Sam Stosur and Francesca Schiavone, 2011, I think it was, John McEnroe, and I know a lot of people don't listen to him. He was talking about the spin, and I think Mary Carrillo was in the booth with him, and she wanted to know, how do they hit the ball with so much spin and able to keep the ball in play and everything like that? And John McEnroe said that this is going to be one of the biggest problems that tennis will have to face. It's going to have to look at how to cut down on the increase in technology in relation to equipment. He says in a few years' time, we're going to see a lot of injuries. We're going to see back injuries, shoulder injuries, elbow injuries, arm injuries, because of the amount of torque that the body has to use to generate the pace that is required to swing these rackets with this type of string technology. I have to admit, I didn't understand a word he was saying, but I can, because I used to play tennis. I used to play league tennis, and I know I got my racket strong, and I got it strong with nylon strings. And when I just started playing, I used to get tennis elbow all the time because of the strings that were used. And when the ball, if either of you have ever played tennis, when the ball hits the racket, the impact on your arm is just, it's painful, to put it mildly. And you can imagine tennis players doing that with the kind of strings that they have that flattens the ball to the point to generate that pace. It's a reason why Sharapova has these shoulder problems. It's a reason why people like Vaitasova had to have 3 surgeries on her shoulder. It's because of the racket, and this is one of the reasons that is going to destroy the younger guys before they can come up.
Well, that's a very good. That's something I think. I don't know if we've talked about it here, but it's something I've definitely noted, and it's an interesting thing when you pointed out that sport's gonna have to, the sport in and of itself is gonna have to look at this, because this has definitely come out in swimming, track and field. Also, there was another sport that came to mind where they had to limit the technology because it was getting out of control. But at this point, there is no end to this behavior in sight, because too much money is there to be made from
the nature of this particular sport.
It's too much money to be made.
Where
and I love it.
Or, you know, equipment producers of equipment who are sponsors of tournaments, who are providing the equipment that some players are complaining, not for nothing that the players complain about the balls. You go to tournament A, you use a tournament B, use a
I don't listen to Vidal because Vidal complains about the ball.
Oh God.
That's just because he can't win. So, you know, and the kind of balls he should be talking about, the kind of balls I want to hear him talk about, he will make you know. But we can leave Barcelona behind now. So, oh, by the way, I forgot to say, so who ended up winning Barcelona is none other than another Spaniard, Guillermo Garcia-Lopez. I think. No. I got it wrong. I got that wrong. Nishikori won. Oh my God, what's the matter with me? Thank you. Yes. I know. Nishikori won. Nishikori beat Pablo Andujar.
And he just choked.
Well, Pablo was not gonna win that match at all. I don't think he was going to. He was not. But
you know what? But he was in the. I didn't watch all of it because I can't. But I watched a little bit. When I turned it on, Pablo was already down a set. Okay, fine. I know we all expected Nishikori to win the match, but he was up a break in the second, and I'm just like, obviously you're doing something right.
He said he didn't take his chances after the match. He said that, I wish I had taken more of the chances that I had.
Yeah.
Whatever. Wish I could have. But this is the thing that gets me upset with the scrubs. Okay, scrubs, you're in Barcelona. Okay, Vidal was there. Ferrer was there. He wasn't there, not in the finals. Pablo, this is your chance. Okay, I expected a much more better fight than that you put out. But you know what?
Yeah, at least go 3 sets. At least.
But Nishikori gets to protect his ranking. He defended his Barcelona title. Congratulations. And if nothing else, Nishikori gets to put his name in the draw to say Nishikori couldn't possibly win the French Open.
He is not winning the French Open.
He is not winning the French Open.
Come on.
I am just simply saying this is the media that you will get. I'm not saying this is true. This is not. This isn't real saying this. This is what the media would say.
Because
Nishikori.
they need a story. Because
They need a
the
story.
French
Nobody
Open and
wants
the
to say
men's
Nadal is going to win again, so they're going to
has
say
become so predictable.
but that's what it is. And we can move on to Bucharest, which is in Romania, if I'm not mistaken, and Guillermo Garcia Lopez. Well, Bucharest is an ATP 250, which is below the 500, and they had a pretty interesting field. Simone was there and Monfils. Now, I would like someone to tell me why Monfils is still ranked in the 20s. I don't know why.
I'm gonna
And
I'm gonna leave this alone because I love Andrine and Andrine loves me. Andrine has a real soft spot for
Well, I mean, the bottom line, the
well,
bottom line with
Audrey
Monfils
could have a soft spot in her bed for
for
Monfils any day, all day. I wouldn't stop her. Trust me. I'm not checking for Monfils. But we're talking about tennis here. And to me, Monfils is a minute man. Okay?
he
Monfils,
drinks Coke on court.
I mean, that pretty much says it all. Okay?
That sums it up.
That sums it up. Monfils just doesn't care, and it's so disappointed. I mean,
Well,
Monfils
you
should
know
be
what?
a
Here's
prominent fixture in the top 10.
someone.
Monfils, I can.
Someone told me. Someone gave me this perspective once, and I think it's very valid. You know, just how we were just talking about the top four and how dominant that they've been for so long, and then you have these players who every once in a while are knocking on the door, but they know they're not really getting in. They might get that occasional upset and maybe take a title every once in a while, but the bottom line is I know it, you two know it, and every player on tour knows that they are not going to consistently beat the top. Therefore, maybe they just are along for the ride. And that's fair. I mean, they're good. They can make a living at it. They can make the money, but at the same time, they can still have fun where they don't have to be as focused, which Monfils, I think, is an exception because I really think that if he put his heart and soul into everything, he probably could be up there with Federer and Nadal. He can do it.
Won a major, okay, people. Chilich won
Well,
a major.
yeah, but what if these guys that are just who are in the top, but not at the very very top, are honestly just along because they know they can't get shit.
Well,
Have you ever thought about that?
That's a fair point. But if Chilich can get shit,
He got lucky because somebody else knocked other people out of the way, though. And that's always a possibility, but how often does that happen?
Well, this is where
we may get a random finalist every once in a while, but it doesn't happen very often.
Well, this is what I think the men should probably do. Scrubs should do. Scrubs, listen up, okay? In other sports, they basically have an alliance, okay? You knock these strong bitches out because I keep telling you people, it's all about the money. It's all about the money. Monfils, trust me. You show up in the major finals, your ugly face would be an everything from box of condoms to cornflakes to shoes. Your ass would be everywhere because you're just that kind of personality. No one's gonna put Chilich on a box of condom and a box of cornflakes. Only in Croatia. And who the fuck shops in Croatia? Okay, no Croatian and Croat. But I'm just saying, Monfils, you put yourself in a major final. You don't even need to win. You will be getting all that money, and then you could coast and sit on your ass. But you win. Because Monfils, I mean, you made Federer tired and all that, but you have shown that you can beat Federer. And if you can beat Federer, and you can beat Federer consistently, and beat him convincingly, you can beat some of the other top guys too. But you just don't.
Yeah,
I mean, like, you showed up against Berdych in that semifinals in Monte Carlo, and you were just absolutely piss poor. You were against Garcia Lopez in semifinals last week on Saturday, and I watched that match. You were basically didn't even give a shit. You were just like, whatever, okay, oh, whatever, okay, all right, oh, I'm gonna try to make it look like I'm interested, but I'm not. Monfils, come on. I mean, seriously. I mean, there are several guys that I think in the wings who definitely could make it more interesting. Okay, because somebody could knock off Murray. Somebody put in their heart and soul. Three of you gang up and be like, I am taking Djokovic to 5 sets in the first 3 rounds of a major. His ass, he don't even have enough stamina to make it out of the quarterfinals. He wouldn't. Federer is old. Trust me.
Yeah.
Seppi got his ass. Seppi got his ass in the third round of a major. Robredo. I mean, and these are people who were always beating Federer. Who Federer always beating, I mean. Robredo, Seppi. They beat him convincingly in 4 sets, and he has always been the one to dominate these players. So you not only would you get lucky, other people would get lucky. But you can't get lucky if your ass show up and being lazy and playing a 5-setter in the first round at Monfils. You're not gonna get lucky.
He is so not. I watched him playing against Federer in Monte Carlo, and that guy was bending over, gasping for breath. He is not fit.
Oh, Monfils isn't fit. There's no doubt about that.
I don't know what he does if he goes to the gym, or if he's like me, just lie and tell everybody that I go to the gym.
I think he's like you.
I can't, which is why he's probably always injured.
Maybe, Monfils is the kind of person who's going to show up at the gym. He's going to go to the gym, but end up talking to everyone.
Talking to everybody. Yep.
And not working out. He's going to be like,
passing the towels, passing everybody their towels.
Exactly. Hey, dude, what's up?
He's just a goofball. I mean, have you ever watched him play on a small court when he can interact with the crowd? He is a freaking goofball, and he's like there for sheer entertainment, and he doesn't mind filling that role apparently because he's good enough that he can get far enough into tournaments where he makes money, and then he just goes and he
Well, Monfils,
it's what he does.
So basically, he's
the class clown.
He cares. He's a class.
He's the coat clown.
He cares not about Tennis Hall of Fame. What Tennis Hall of Fame?
Oh God, he just got an invitation to show up to. He might be the person, the presenter at the Tennis Hall of Fame dinner. Monfils, you're not getting in there. But Monfils, I don't care what the hell you're doing with your life. You know what? It's your business. But for God's sake, change that fucking clothes you're wearing.
Oh my God!
You look like a house plant. You look like a bloody house plant in that.
I think that I swear to God, that was tactical. Who could look at that? It's a distraction.
It was ugly.
Oh my God!
It was. It was I bet it. You know how sometimes people wear shirts with the real thin lines, and you're looking at them and it looks like they're moving. You can't even.
Psychedelic.
Yes, telling you that's what he did, and that's why he was taking motherfuckers out because they couldn't even focus.
And then stood up against Burdage, whose outfit was even worse. That's why he lost Monte Carlo. That made sense. I could see that working. Because I don't know who the fuck is the H&M shit for Burdage.
Burdage looked even worse because he looked like he put all the clothes in the machine to wash, and something bleeds into the other thing. That's what Burdage looks like. It looked as if his clothes bled into each other. It looks awful.
He looks like Burdage's outfit looked like a bad sleepy time outfit for some little girl. It's just I can't get rid of that shit, people. But congratulations to Guillermo Garcia-Lopez. I did watch the finals, him with Jiri Vesely of Czech Republic. It was a very good clay court match, and what was so nice, there was no hype. It was just all about tennis. I didn't have any crazy personality. I didn't get anyone going on overly talking about Garcia-Lopez or overly talking about Vesely. It was all about the men and the tennis on the court, and it was really good. It was really 2 tough sets. Vesely was able to. He had some set points, but apparently he wasn't interested in going to a third set. So Garcia-Lopez trying to get that money, prize money. Top prize money is better than the second round money, and he won 7-6, 7-6. So that take care of the men's.
Woo!
Now,
yes,
Karen is gonna be in full steam now.
Hi, good evening. You're
She's finally present. Okay, she's just giving us a list of.
when you sent me the message and invited me to come on here and expound on all things women's tennis, you know, and you gave me an idea as to what you would like me to address.
Okay.
And this was before. Was it before Aga and Martina parted ways?
Oh,
no,
boy.
it was before Aga and Martina parted ways.
Yeah.
And today, while I was making my Sunday roast chicken,
which we didn't eat, but okay.
Yeah, I did my Sunday roast chicken today. And I was thinking, and I said, you know what the problem is with these women who are coming on, or these people who are coming on as coaches? I said, for one of the reasons why this particular relationship failed is because Martina is a Monday morning quarterback. And you know why?
Unfortunately, I don't have it, but Martina, just in case you missed it, that was a read. That was a read. Okay, girl, you got red. Okay, with some prescription glasses, the library is open.
If you listen to Martina when she does commentary, she has little or no regard for today's players. You know why Lindsay Davenport is going to be successful? Because she has high regard for today's players. Lindsay was in my side of the world recently doing an exhibition match. And she was interviewed on the radio, and she was asked about today's players and whether or not she would be able to compete with them. And she said, God, no. These women are fitter than in my time. They hit a heavier, bigger ball than I ever did. They are faster. They're stronger. They're more tactically aware.
And they're not lazy. Lindsay,
I could not compete with today's players. Martina, on the other hand, God bless her, she's a great player. She has accomplished a lot. But she could not compete with today's players. And she sits in that commentary booth and she believes deep down, and many have told her, that she could compete with today's players. So she takes a coaching assignment believing that her skills, her strategic intelligence, and her knowledge of tennis will make one of the weakest members of the top 10 be all that she can be. It's like being invited to the US
on a Sunday evening. Preach it, girl. Amen.
And when Martina realized that it would take much more than her considerable tennis acumen to turn what is undoubtedly a very good player in Agnieszka Radwanska into a top-flight Grand Slam contender, she realized that it was not going to work because her ego would not see her coaching someone who is failing and failing so spectacularly. She refused to give it time because Martina is a Monday morning quarterback. She only sees the problems after they occur. And she always has a fix. But you listen to her commentary. You go back and you listen to Martina's commentary on every single female player. She finds she is as critical as they come, and not constructively critical either.
Janina, did you get your life?
It doesn't matter. It didn't matter who she coached. If she even coached Petra Kvitova, if she even coached Serena or Venus or any of these top class players, she would have failed spectacularly, because unlike Lindsay, who is willing to listen and who does not think that she is better than the person that she's coaching, Lindsay will succeed as a coach, as will Sanchez Vicario. You saw in Wozniacki's game, Wozniacki played clay court tennis this whole week in Stuttgart.
What was that?
I know. I was mad.
Fantastic tennis. And she lost, but she played really well. Best I've seen her play on a clay court in a long time, because she was not playing hardcore tennis on a clay court. She was sliding into her shots. She was mixing up her forehand became a weapon on the surface. She used angles. I'm sorry she beat Simona, because that's my girl. But she outmaneuvered Simona at every given opportunity on Saturday. I think she just didn't have anything left in the tank today.
That's
but
probably true.
To go back to your question, Reels, about what is going on with Aga, Martina is trying to turn Aga into something that she can't be. Aga is what, 28 years old now? 27, 28 years old, something like that. She's had, one of the things that she was trying to get her to do was to serve bigger, was to hit bigger serves. And we saw that down at the Hopman Cup when she beat Serena to win the Hopman Cup. Her serves were coming in over the 110 miles per hour. She was hitting aces, etc. The problem with that is that Aga has had her shoulder taped for the last 3 seasons. So reason why her shoulder
has tattooed on.
Yeah. The reason why she's had her shoulder taped for the last 3 seasons, because she has shoulder issues. She can't serve, and she can't serve big effectively for an extended period of time. And ergo, she was again doomed to fail, because Martina didn't try to find a way to work around that. She could have used Aga's stylistic game, the way how she mixes it up. You know, she could have used it. She could have expanded on that. There's a reason why Aga got to Wimbledon, got to a final at Wimbledon.
I agree with, you know what, I agree with what you're saying, and to certain, first of all, Martina, you gotta go pick up your little bit of hair that's left, because I think snatched your wig. She snatched it, pulled everything. You gotta get yourself a new weave. You gotta get new weave for Monday morning. Not only are a Monday morning quarterback according to Karen, you gotta go to the beauty shop. Your wig just got snatched. I mean, I didn't look at it that way. I mean, but I think you're absolutely right. Everything you're saying is right, because I looked at it more so. For me, Martina never had to love us shoulder, because she thought that she had a point to prove, that she was very boastful. That's one thing I don't like about her. I mean, maybe it's a champion way, but she's very full of herself and cocky, just the way she presents herself. That is true. And I thought that she felt, you know what, to me, she was just talking with one of her buddies, you know, her girlfriend or whatever it was, and being like, you know what, I could turn any woman into a top player. Yep. I'm going to fix Aga.
Exactly what it was.
And
yep.
She showed up and she thought that it was going to be an easy fix. But then she decided, you know what, no. And I kept saying, all of these high-profile coaches keep showing up, you know, but you have to be, they have to work it out. It can't just be you just showing up because of your name. That's why no one is working with Brad Gilbert anymore, because the fucker talks too much. Because there's no relation. You can't have a real relationship when he's talking so much. And when you have a coach, you need a coach who's really going to be listening and who's really going to be working. You can't have a coach just to be present. So this is why Roger Federer waited out and he sought out Stefan Edberg. Stefan Edberg is not going to be in the limelight. He's not going to be in it. Stefan Edberg is going to be like, I'm here to work. I'm going to go home. I got no time for this shit. And Murray decided to go with Amelie Mauresmo because she isn't about showing off and all that kind of nonsense. And this is what I think Martina needs to be, you know, and this is probably why no one works with Darren Cahill anymore. Because you can't be in front of the screen and be
Cahill's situation is different because he still coaches. Because he's still tied to Adidas. I think that's
right.
His arrangement is. Right. Probably works at the Adidas player development program. So he still coaches, but I just don't think he coaches on a one-to-one basis.
Right, he just doesn't. You know, but anybody who's part of the Adidas team has access to him. I like him. I like him a lot. I like him. I don't know. I like his analysis when he's calling a match. I feel like he's fair.
To me,
he is.
He has that constant look in his face that says, you know, oh, fuck me, I gotta deal with these fucking idiots yet another day. He looks like that guy who goes into the office and work with a whole bunch of idiots and can't quit because the money is good. He just he got that mortgage to pay, and he just look, oh fuck, I'm surrounded.
Well, would you want to have to talk to Brad Gilbert all the time?
Oh God!
Come on.
Out in the sun.
But
he's an idiot.
But you know, your second question that you asked me about Reels.
Hold on, before we get on to I know who you're going to talk about. Don't want to say her name just yet, but just to go on with the Aga a bit, I just want to say that I expected this relationship to fail. I really did, because I didn't see and I just thought that to me, according to Aga's coach, she's rather stubborn, and Aga
Well,
comes.
all tennis players are.
Well, that's true, but Aga comes off as a very cocky person, because she delighted in the fact, I didn't have power, but yet I was outmaneuvering and outfoxing most of these girls. And at one point, she was a very solid number 4, number 3 player. But all of a sudden, things started to go wrong, and she didn't try to fix anything. Her coach.
But one of the things that I appreciated that she wanted to be a little bit more offensive-minded. Aggressive on the court, which is good. And earlier in the season, it was working. It was
really
losing
weight.
The problem with Aga is that, and it's a problem that Caroline has as well, Wozniacki has as well, is that they revert to the counterpunching style that has got them where they went.
Call pushing. Let's call it what it is. It's pushing. It ain't counterpunching. It's pushing.
A lot of people, who, the living room coaches, and I'm one of them. Those of us.
I thought you were throwing shade at me. I just
I'm one of the living room coaches as well. But when I hear or see people talking, well, get to the net, get to the net. Do you know how hard it is to get to the net on a tennis court? Do you know how hard it is? The first thing you have to do is actually recognize that the opportunity is there to get to the net. That's the first thing. The second thing is to recognize, if it's not you doing an approach shot to get to the net, you have to recognize when a ball is going to land short so that you can get to the net. That's one of the reasons why people like Federer got somebody whose whole career was about getting to the net. It's hard. It's really, really hard, and you don't know how hard it is until you're on a tennis court.
Fair enough.
And the ball is coming and then once you get to the net, you have to
do something special.
Your natural reflex of ducking when the ball is coming towards you. I can't tell you how many times when I used to play, when I saw the ball coming towards me and I'm at the net, that I basically put my racket over my head and ducked. Because I was afraid that the ball was going to hit me, and sticking out your racket out there to make contact with the ball, to put away a volley, it's a hard thing to do.
I agree.
I guess these are professionals. I'm just, the Sunday morning, the Sunday mom, Saturday evening league player. But it is hard. So when I hear people say, and I'm guilty of it as well, because I know a lot because these are professionals. You should know better.
Thank you very much. That's what I'm saying.
A short ball, you should be able to know when a ball is a floating ball that you should get inside there, move forward, and put it away. I saw that yesterday in the Halep match where she had so many chances.
Yes, no drive volleys
down the line, and it's deep. And she waits until Wozniacki gets the. Granted, sometimes Wozniacki gets to the ball and floats it up, gets it back deep, so she keeps you pinned to the baseline. But come on, But Aga was used to the net. She was comfortable there, But for whatever reason, and I cannot. When you're a coach, and you're going to be coming on national television, millions. Can we talk about this? Millions of people are listening to you. And you come on TV and criticize your player?
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
That's what
What nights? I thought the relationship would have been severed right there.
I think they just kept it just for appearance's sake. I think Martina went back and made an apologies afterwards, and she said, "Girl, I'm so sorry, girl. I shouldn't have. And let's just keep this moving. Let's just not work together. Like I won't talk to you, won't talk to me. Miss make appearances in Miami, and then we would sever right soon after."
I don't know why I was even there. She didn't even look up at me. She's not supposed to fucking look up at you. It's called cheating.
Well, while we're on this subject of I the other thing I wanted to talk about, then we could do what's up with Genie Bouchard? Has that genie been locked in the bottle and someone threw the bottle out to sea?
Genie is not going through a sophomore slump. This
She's
sophomore slump, I researched this because you know me, I research every damn thing. There's no such. This sophomore slump is a new
concept.
It's a new concept that is being thrown out there to
Excuse
describe
mediocrity.
today's young failures. I looked back at Genie's ITF career when she was in juniors. I looked at Sloane Stephens. I looked at Taylor Townsend. I looked at Simona Halep. But for the purposes of this discussion, I really looked at Genie, Sloane, and Simona. 3 players who have had really good breakout seasons and looked at their follow-up seasons.
Right.
You know, one of the reasons why Simona Halep is number 2 and Sloane and Genie are not, it's because Simona's progression has been a gradual progression. From ITF, from juniors, all the way up to the senior tour. Her progress has been what you would require if you had a young player. She won titles on the ITF circuits. She played her way. She started out winning small tournaments. She took a break, had her boobs reduced, came back on tour, struggled. She went through the whole gamut. Genie, on the other hand, basically did fuck all on the ITF circuit. Genie never left junior tennis fully until she was 18 years old. At 18 years old, I think she was still playing junior Wimbledon. When everybody else had already made, people leave the junior tour at 17. Belinda Bencic left. They play under age restrictions, but they no longer play juniors. Genie played juniors until she was 18. It's a reason for that. And I think it's because she didn't have the confidence or the game to compete on the senior tour. So she kept on the junior tour until she, keep beating up the 15 and 14-year-olds to gain some confidence. And then she came on the senior tour. Now, when she came on the senior tour, it was like a revelation. Here it was young player, hits the ball hard, aggressive. So nobody knows your game. So you take everybody by surprise. And this is what is happening. Everybody now knows your game. We have recordings now, we have video. If you think that this is not a new anomaly in sophomore slumps, I looked at 2 players who are still playing today. I looked at Serena Williams, 1999, she won the US Open at age 17, and Maria Sharapova, who won Wimbledon in 2004, also at age 17. Neither of these players had a sophomore slump.
Well, I mean, I agree with you, but I often say, maybe it might be, Ginny, you can back me up here, I say no. Maybe, these are exceptional players. Maria and Serena are exceptional players. But my problem with a lot of these girls is that they're still not, you're right, the sophomore slump that they're talking about is bullshit. Because they're not even winning regular matches.
Thank you. They're not.
They're not winning regular matches. And the thing about it is that Serena won in 1999 and she didn't win again until 2002.
She didn't win a slam, but she stayed in the top 10.
Exactly. And this is what I'm
She
not seeing,
stays
that
in
these
top 10.
girls are
She
not
still won
doing.
titles. That's
Exactly.
the difference. It's not about the slams. It's called the WTA Tour. It's not
Exactly.
about
They're not
slams.
winning. They're not winning regular
It's the
tournaments.
same thing with Sloane. Sloane had her so-called breakthrough in 2013. She got to the semifinals of a Grand Slam. And then what? In the same year that Sloane made the semifinals of the Australian Open, I think she fell in the third round at Hobart. Who loses at fucking Hobart?
Sloan does. I mean, Heather Watson went. Hey, don't be saying shit about Sloan. Okay.
You know, so it's something that I can't put my finger on as to why this is happening. But
I think Genie is suffering from. My thing is that she thought that she had arrived, and the same thing I think happened to Stallone too. That they figured they want all glory and no guts. You know, they don't want to put in the hard work, and that's what they're not doing. I
I
think
don't even think
this is,
that's it. I just think that their games are so basic.
and that too. They do
have basic
they don't
games,
lack any.
and they have no willpower, no fighting power. They don't have that. They really don't. And you know, you look at them and you know they talk the talk and they speak the PR speak, but they have no sense of what they're about or what their games are about. And that troubles me because I want to see a women's tour where the women are as confident as what I saw in the 2000s, the late 90s, early 2000s. That's what I want to see from
The
this
thing
new
is,
generation that's coming.
Venus, Serena, Lindsay,
Yeah,
Monica at one point,
Capriati.
Capriati. That's fair enough.
Very,
I can see that.
I want to see that. And maybe, you know, people talk about, you know, one of the reasons why Serena is so dominant is because of the weakness of the top 10. The top 10 is not weak. You just have a really strong number one.
Yes.
And also a strong mental number one.
A
A lot of these
strong
girls,
mental number one. You know, and
because Serena gives you look. She gives you many, many, many looks to take
yeah,
that.
you do. You get chances with her, but it's the way how she takes away those chances from you.
That
You know,
too.
without batting an eye. And I want
Like
these young players, which is why I admire somebody like Sarah Irani. Sarah Irani I'm playing topspin 4 now. Okay? And I created a player. And my player serves at 67 miles per hour. Okay? That's how much I suck at this video game. That's Sarah Irani like serving. Every time I serve, I laugh because I remember Sarah Irani. But Sarah Irani is this generation's Elena Dementieva. A stocky serve, but ground strokes and an all-around game to die for. If you can look past Irani's serve and look at what she does with the ball on the court,
and
especially
her
in the field
stature. It is
surface.
her stature that really gets her. If she were taller,
If she was taller,
she would have
oh
been a
my
problem.
God.
It would have been a very big problem. And
But
Dementieva could hit very big off of both
oh
wings,
yes,
and she can change direction. And like Irani, she was very fit.
yes.
She was very, very fit. When she was at her top, she was very fit. And
And
if all that's working, she might just squeeze in and put in an ace every once in a while. She might just do it.
I'm on the Irani Ace Watch for this year. I've not seen it yet, but I'm sure it's coming. Camille Pan. It was a Pan Ace Watch years ago. But you know, the top 10 sometimes disappoints. They really disappoint.
I think it's a mental attitude. I get this kind of like, oh my God, you know what? I'm done. Like halfway in the match, I get this. Really, like, you know, she don't give two shits. Simona, I felt maybe she was exhausted from Caroline Wozniacki, but at one point to me, it was just like, you know what? I'm done and over this shit.
No, that's
And
Simona. If you've been following Simona since juniors,
That's what she
her.
does.
That's what she does.
She's even admitted it, and
Yeah.
she's said that she's really trying to work now on not doing that.
Oh,
Yeah.
so Karen, I don't understand why you took exception to me when I said Simona was giving me some Monfils bullshit out there. She was like,
No,
"I'm doing this shit."
it's because she's been called out for the wrong reasons.
Okay.
You know, she expects better from herself, and that's why she, you know, goes on like that.
I
She
love her
really
game.
does.
I must say that of any of the young the group who's swirling around who has not yet won a major, I really think she's the one I think can win a major. I don't know
Yeah,
if she
Yeah,
will
she can win a
move
major.
she
Serena
will.
around,
She
but
will.
I mean because why I say I'm not sure because at one point she might just be like I'm over this shit and I'm
No.
gonna go
She
home.
needs to get a couple really big wins
Um, but
consecutively.
I really thought that she was gonna win this Porsche title. But can we talk about Porsche title because I mean it was like a hurricane that rushed through that place and just fucked everyone over. Maria went home, Anna went home, well Aga went home, um, and
Petra went home.
Petra. Well, oh, there was Petra there. Oh, wow. Gosh, girl, I didn't even see you. Well, wow, Petra.
It started with the withdrawals. A lot of people, JJ withdrew,
Who missed her anyway?
Petkovic withdrew.
Okay.
There were quite a few withdrawals before the tournament started. And
Let me
then,
just say, I know everyone tried to make Stuttgart into this real Clico tournament, but I'm sorry. You're playing indoors in an air-conditioned place. You're just playing in an indoor sandbox. I'm sorry. I don't believe this is a real Clico tournament. Nor do I count Charleston as a real Clico tournament with its
I actually really enjoy Charleston and Stuttgart. I like, one of the reasons I like it is because of the fan appreciation for the women. It's one of the
and
things I've been. I love that the women get a lot of support from those two places. The stands are always packed.
I
And
think it's because it's happening when there's no real big men tournament happening.
it doesn't,
Stop!
it doesn't matter.
I mean, no,
No,
I'm just simply
I
saying
disagree
that so
with you.
it
I
gets a lot more
completely
TV
disagree with you.
coverage.
I completely disagree with you. It's always been like that.
Okay.
Stuttgart and Charleston, always. You can go back from 2008, 2007, way back when. Even Amelia Island, which was on green clay. And people talk about Sharapova and her clay court prowess. People forget that way back when she was winning tournaments on clay, on green clay, but on clay. I remember her beating, I think, Dominika Cibulkova at Amelia Island years ago. So it's not just today that Sharapova has been able to play on clay.
Well, I think people don't consider it clay unless it's the red
Red,
dirt.
it's clay. The ball moves slower through the court. It's clay.
But let's say congratulations to Angelique Kerber.
2 titles in a row, eh?
Yeah, after
yeah,
that,
exactly.
in a match.
That means, you know what it means?
Matches.
Means she's done.
Makes
You're
you wonder
absolutely
what Torben has done to turn her season around.
I mean, you're absolutely right, Janine. I agree with you. I think Kerber is done for the year. I mean, done for the season at least for this part of the season. But I have to say that I noticed. I'm gonna say something. I know Karen's gonna get on fire for this. But I noticed Caroline Wozniacki was winning. She won the first set, 6-3 if I'm not mistaken, and Daddy still came down and talked to her.
Oh,
Okay.
fuck
And I
that shit.
think when
It's
Daddy,
not
I think
Daddy.
if I'm not
It's not Daddy.
mistaken,
It's her coach. It's her coach. Let's be real about this, Reels.
well,
She's
it's a
not the
coach.
only person who calls her coach down. I don't like on-court coaching.
No. Wait. My point is that she called her coach down, who is her daddy, but problems started to happen for Wozniacki when he could no longer come down on court. And not only was he down on court talking to her, she was still getting illegal coaching from the stands.
I think what happened was that she lost focus today. She lost her focus because one, the crowd got into it, and she got sidetracked because of what was happening with her father and the officials regarding the on-court coaching. She lost focus And that's something that has been happening to her for a little while now that I've noticed. I was surprised that she was able to close it out against Sharapova in New York last year. But I've noticed that Wozniacki's her mentality, which was always the hallmark of her game, the ability to stick in points, the ability to wear opponents down mentally, because I know that I can outrun you, and I know that I can not out hit you, but I can keep you out here all day, and I won't ever get tired. She seems to have lost that edge, and especially against the top players. And I don't know if she'll ever get it back.
Well, she brought a rancher, so that might change.
I don't know whether a coach will be able to help that, because I think for all intents and purposes, Caroline had basically retired from tennis when she got engaged.
Oh, wow.
Well, you know,
I think
Caroline, she was, you know, she had her moment.
She was
and her moment has passed. And even when she did have her moment, poor girl never really did have a moment.
Exactly.
Don't come at me with the ranking bullshit and she earned her way to number one. Yes, she did. But the fact remains she's a slamless number one. And I don't like it. That's my personal opinion. I feel like if you're going to be number one, then be number one.
And win the big tournament.
And win the big shit. Don't fumble.
I take your point on that, Janina. I really do, and I agree with you. But at the end of the day, when you had number ones who were breaking down in tears in Grand Slam finals.
Oh yeah.
Here you had a number one who day in, day out was representing the WTA tour worldwide. Never complained, never bitched, never moaned, went out, did her job, and won.
Yeah, but that's because she had no other choice, because she knows she couldn't win anywhere else.
I mean, she was number one because she played so much. And she got deep. And she, you know, she got a few titles along the way, of course, but she never won the big step. She never could do it. And she still can't do it. She still can't do it. Because you know what?
She will never be able to do it until she relinquishes this need to have her father come down courtside and coach her, because Caroline just can't seem to think her way out of a paper bag. And that troubles me. No, it's not. I
agree.
I'm not trying to be facetious here. I really am not. I see too many of these young women who are extremely talented, who know their way around a tennis court, who could probably, you know, who are so talented, who continue to have some fella come down. I mean, I look at, oh, Jesus, give me a break.
Well, you know, me personally, it's weak. It's weak. Tennis is special because you're out there by yourself, because you have to figure it out yourself. So,
hello?
I'm still here.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
I think I pressed the mute button.
Okay. I'm just giving you a round of applause just to say I agree with you. It's special because of the mental attitude of it. And you're by yourself.
And you have to be alone. So when you call your coach down, you just look weak.
You know what Serena said?
Yeah, she said, go ahead.
Every time she sees someone, she's playing someone, and they call their coach down, she knows she has the match won.
Yep.
And I agree, because to me it's like you put in all that work on the off court, you know, with the coaching to figure it out, because tennis is such subtle changes happen. It could be subtle wind shifts can be a big moment, and you have to be in the moment. You can't, and it really frustrates me to see that women keep calling the coaches. I mean, Madison Keys was in tears.
Oh God! Don't mention that. I was just thinking about that a while ago and thinking.
And it was just like, why are you in tears?
The lowest point of any athlete's career to sit down courtside at one of the biggest tournaments in your country.
Exactly.
bawling.
For no reason. And no one can hurt you. You're not in pain. No one is punching you. It's just like, what the fuck is this shit? This is ridiculous.
I was embarrassed to witness it. I'm not gonna lie.
I
was embarrassed. I sat there watching it on my computer thinking, is she actually crying?
She is hot up.
You're about to get bageled by Sloan? Seriously? I'm thinking to myself that it was a thought of actually being bageled by Sloane Stephens, which basically made her break down in tears.
Well, you know what? She better get it together because she has an amazing game, and if she can get that mental aspect together, she has an amazing career ahead of her. But look, bitch, you can't be crying on the side of the court. You can't do that. It just...
You're not Serena Williams. The only person who can do that and look good is Serena Williams.
Right?
By the way, cry on court and say, "What the fuck are you doing out here?"
Right? Well, she looks like she's gonna cry at any given moment, anyway. So let's not even go there. I love Serena, but she's crazy.
You know what? She's it's crazy. But you know what I like about Serena in that sense is that
she gets it done.
She gets it done. You're figuring out the shit on court.
Because when she's out there and she's got the look like she's gonna cry at any second, and she's talking to herself and she's yelling at her box, you know that's the turning point, and whoever's on the other side of that net, you better watch out.
But you know, what I like is that she is fixing what is the problem.
Exactly, without
telling
calling
herself.
a coach.
Exactly. She's like, why am I doing it? It's the serve that I'm not doing right.
You know,
I'm not getting my foot position right. I'm not coming to the net. I need to do these things. And then when she gets it done, she does the things that she needs to do. And these other girls just cry and just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I've seen Maria's coach, what's his name? I forgot his name. Sven. He come down and literally tell her, girl, this is what you need to do. And I'm like, why are you telling Maria? She's #2 in the world.
Right?
You're supposed to know this already.
And she does. But that's just it. They know what they need to do, but they're second guessing themselves. It's a confidence issue. They know exactly what they need to do, but they need to call their coach for either reassurance that they're doing as good as they think they're doing, regardless of what the scoreboard shows, or they need reassurance to change. They know.
I don't know, but anyway, this is thing. But I just
think it just weakens the women's sport, makes the women look weak.
I think it does. It does. And
it provides absolutely no entertainment value as far as I'm concerned.
And what's even worse is that than all of that is that when it comes to the real big tournaments, the majors, it's not available. They can't do it at all. Mm-hmm. And it really shows that they can't do it, and they lose badly.
Which is why the cheating is happening. More and more in tennis.
I think they're gonna find themselves in a lot of trouble. I think
But they don't care. They don't care if they're fined. They don't care if they're fined for coaching violations. And this goes again to the character of the people who are involved, who are on the court and who are coaching these days. Because these days I notice it with Ivanovich's coach, with Sabine Lisicki's coach, with a lot of the coaches are sitting courtside. Some of them are even down in the photographer's pit at the Grand Slams these days. And they're shouting coaching advice from that area. They should be barred. There's absolutely no reason. I don't see Patrick Mouratoglou down there. I see him sitting up in the stands. He better sit up in the stands. He says, this is my moment. This is not yours. You did your work. Let me do my job.
Yeah.
Well, coaches are sitting courtside shouting out instructions, and the umpires and the lines people are doing absolutely nothing about it.
Well, that's my big problem with it too, and I agree that I wish, but I think it's not gonna get nasty until the opponent, which I think is not the opponent's responsibility to do this, but until the opponent makes a big issue about it, that's when it's gonna stop.
You do have some players who complain about it,
but they're gonna have to make a big issue about it. It has to be something.
You do have players who go to the umpire and say, listen, their coaching team is disrupting me and everything like that, especially when the change ends. You know, and I know one set of coaching people who are very, very guilty of this. It's Ivanovich's team.
Ugh,
Well,
Ivanovic is terrible.
the
She needs,
Serbians.
yeah, okay, all right. But before we move on, I just want to say congratulations to Angelique Kerber. And congrats, girl, on winning a Porsche,
I guess we
and
must.
about, for beating Wozniacki. But time for the special feature. We have a special feature. So, ladies, I sent you some press clippings, which were direct quotes of, I guess we've already discussed the Aga Martina issue, so I guess we don't even need to go into that. But a big story that came out at the end of last week, early last week, was Stan Wawrinka and his wife Ilham Wawrinka separated. So I sent
Again.
you ladies separated again. I think this one is for reals because it was on Twitter. So they put it on Twitter.
Oh, because
It's on Twitter, so it's real. It's true. If it's on Twitter, it's true, right? So
absolutely.
I sent you their quotes. So this new segment is called what they really meant to say, what they really want. This is the new segment. So I'm going to read what they really said, and I'm going to read what they said in the press. And then, ladies, I'm gonna give you a chance to take it away and say what they're really trying to say. Stan put out his first. He tweeted this. He said, he titled it, Stan and Ilham Wawrinka have separated. After living together for 10 years, Stan and Ilham Wawrinka have separated. We have enjoyed 10 fulfilling years with all the ups and downs that every couple experiences. But sometimes life is more challenging than one would hope. Ilham and I have both blessed to create a family with our wonderful daughter Alexia, born in 2010. We have always tried to live our lives as a team and as a family, despite the challenges we have faced due to the demand of my career. To my great regret, this isn't possible anymore. Ilham would always be the mother of my daughter and a person I have a lot of love and respect for. We will always remain as a family. Now my priority is to do everything to protect Alexa during these challenging times. I hope that the fans and the media will understand that I have been very protective. That I've always been very protective of my private life and wish to continue to do so, not giving any further information about the situation. So, Karen, that's what Stan said. So, Karen, what Stan really wants to say?
Boy, a long time now, 10 years now, I want some new pussy.
Anything to add?
Was that too crude?
No, that sounds just like Stan. Oh shit,
You can
Val's
make
gonna have a fit.
Okay, so is that all you? Is all you think he's trying to say here, Karen?
I think what he basically said is that, we've been together 10 years, time to move on, we've tried to work this out, we all we have is one child, I don't think I really want anymore. I need to work on my career, I need to be the best, be all that I can be,
No, Karen.
I'm just tired. I'm tired of being married.
No, Karen, I want you to really say what you think he would really say. Now, this is what he tells the public. But if you were in a conversation, Stan is your best buddy, what would Stan tell you?
She's demanding. She wants to know where I am all the time. She wants to travel with me like how Merkel travels with Roger.
We ain't got money for that.
And, it's not like I'm making a lot of money. All I have is only have like 2 sponsors, okay? Rolex, and they're not even giving me a lot of money. And she wants to be like Roger. She wants to travel, be like Merkel. She's like, well, they have nannies. Why we can't have nannies too? And I'm like, well, I'm not making all that money. See, I can't even I didn't even defend my titles this year. Things are going so well. This is, Roger told you. Roger said this is a winning tour. If you win, you make money. If you lose, you don't. And, sorry, but, boy, time to move on here, man. Let me tell her. Time to move on.
Okay. So what do
John,
you?
what do you think he was trying to say to her?
Oh, but wait, you left out the end where he says, "Now stay the fuck out of my business."
Okay. Well, Jenny, do you have anything to add to that? I personally thought that. What do you have to say to that? You agree with Karen?
I agree with Karen. I think he basically just said, "Look, we tried this shit for 10 years. It ain't working. I gotta go. And this is what I'm giving you. Don't ask me anymore. I'm done. I'm done talking about it. I said enough. Now get out of my fucking business."
Okay. So, well, what we didn't know, or maybe we forgot, is that Iliam Vavrinka works in television. So she knows a bit about the press. So she had a statement to say about these things. So she said, "No, Stan does not lose matches because of our separation, said to be painful, because it had already been 5 months since his triumphant return at Davis Cup," she said in
Shade.
French. She decided his decision to leave for the second time. His family didn't stop him from winning the tournament in Chennai and having more or less very good results. Trips and tournament are not the cause of our separation. Besides, other players rank higher than him handle family life very well. His instability, desire to regain his freedom at all levels, and I have to admit the repeated fibs and emotional betrayals eventually destroyed entirely the confidence I had in him. Okay, Karen, what did you think she's really trying to say?
He cheated on me, the asshole.
Yep, that's what she's saying. She said this motherfucker went out and got some strange more than once, and I'm done. You got to go.
Okay.
I saw something coming across my timeline today.
Oh, yes. Ooh, Karen, go ahead. Dish the day.
I saw something coming across my timeline today that, Lord, I hope you... Do you have insurance?
We don't have a sponsor.
Because, I don't want us to get sued for libel or anything like that.
No,
but
we're only repeating. It's only rumor if you spread it. But
if you saw it on Twitter, it's true.
Right.
So I saw on Twitter today, Tennis World USA, which I understand is not a very credible source, alleging that Stan is having an affair with the young Donna Vekic.
Ooh. New pussy. Nope. New pussy.
Listen, she said he cheated. There's no other interpretation for that. His instability, desire to regain his freedom at all levels are the source.
Well, I gotta say, first of all, let me say what I think Stan is really trying to say. Karen, you said it best. You said, new pussy now. I'm done. I'm over this shit. Not even our daughter, who is 5 years old, is gonna stop me from trying to get some new pussy. And I'm a Grand Slam winner now. I got some money in the bank, save away. I can get all the pussy I want. I ain't struggling no more. I am desirable. I'm showing off my abs. I got money. I'm very protective of my private life. And like you said, Janina, bitch be trying to get in my business. And that ain't how it works, okay? Play a position, bitch. Play a position, okay? And you want to play in a position, and it's time for Stan, the man, to get the fuck out of here.
Stan, the man, indeed.
So she now decided, she's just like, no, boo. Don't you be saying shit that you're losing matches because of us. Fucker, you losing matches all the time. You want Chennai. Notice the shade?
Shade. Major shade.
Stan won, he won some other tournament, I think, in Portugal or someplace else. He won another tournament. But she's just like, boo won Chennai, okay? So don't think I'm saying shit. That, like, I'm fucking up his mojo. You just like, I noticed she said he left home, decision to leave for the second time. Don't become bullshit. He didn't, because that is true. She did leave them. He left them all together while the baby was probably
but she just had the baby,
Yeah. So
he said he had to focus on his career.
And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
I told y'all he was weird.
And you know what I loved about Ilham, here's how this is where she's the queen of the shade. She not only she not only cut him, she poured salt down his wound. She said, besides, other players ranked higher than him handle family life very well. Ooh, she is giving a shout out to the man who Stan really hates, Roger. She just let him know. Roger got 4 kids, a wife, and he handles his shit done. Djokovic has a wife and a son, he handles shit, and they carry around a whole boatload of people. And what the fuck, you just gotta carry around 2 people, and he couldn't fucking get that done. And she said, he wanted his freedom at all levels. All levels. He wanted to go out and fuck new pussy and trying to bring that shit home to me.
The emotional betrayal.
And the repeated
fibs.
Yeah.
He's a lion.
He's a
nasty,
motherfucking leading, cheating dog.
Skanky, cheating bastard.
And that Donna Vekic new whole pussy girl, you can keep him, okay? You can keep him because I will be getting all his money in alimony.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have pressed upon you enough of your time. I think we got into the decent time, in. And I just want to say thank my host this evening, Janina, as always. And Karen, thank you for being with us. You're a wonderful fount of knowledge and W2 in particularly.
Here. Really enjoyed it.
Yes, and I don't think any major tournament next. I think the next big tournament is going to be Madrid. I think Roger is in Portugal. There's no Turkey, I think, and Murray is back from his wedding.
Well, Murray doesn't play on clay. Come on.
I think he's going to Portugal. He
is, but he's not going to last.
I think he's gonna try to do something. He's gonna try to get that mojo. Be like, I get that magic pussy now. I'm great.
Oh my god.
He's gonna try to win. He's gonna try to win. I mean, because he got to December last year anyway, so he's gonna really try to push through. So I'm not sure if there will be a podcast next week. I might have a new guest, but of course, my permanent co-host Janina will be here with me, and no matter what. Unfortunately, Andreen couldn't come on today. She's very busy. She has another podcast, The Scandal. Can you believe that she's talking? The Scandal.
I don't understand. She abandoned us for some new. I don't know for who.
Exactly. Andreen, you get a. So hopefully we'll be back next week. So, folks, thank you so much for enjoying our podcast. Don't forget to, and I want to give a shout out to that person who commented on last week. Thank you very much.
There was a comment.
There was a comment section, and I liked it.
What did it say? What did it say?
He said he enjoyed it. Sorry, he said he enjoyed it.
You sure he was talking about a podcast?
Karen, girl. Don't leave on a bad note. Don't leave on a bad note now. But anyway, thank you, folks, and we will talk tomorrow. Well, see you folks later. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Don't forget, don't listen to this podcast while you're on the treadmill. You might hurt yourself. And we need a sponsor, people. We need some money. Okay? Thank you very much.